Yo, yo, what's going on, everybody? It's the Flying Pig here on Flying Pig United. Get in there. Good evening, everyone, with another cheeky little video for you. We are here to discuss the latest Manchester United news and goings-on at the football club. We've got plenty to get into tonight. Should be a good show. Thanks, everyone, for waiting patiently for us to get going, you bunch of legends. How are we all doing? Thank you for joining. Let's see who's in here very quickly. Let's take a little look and see what legends are among us. We have got DJ Superfly, Batman Night Fan. How's it going? How are you doing there? Also, Sanjay Ramatar, Dynamic Melon, Lucky Singh, The Guy Orsich, Naz786, Howard Garrix, Come On, Sean, Hockridge, Thugger, Batman, Francois, Kingslayer, Malps, DJ Superfly, Mohammed FN, Horg, Ian Pritch, Del R, DJ Disco Dave, Anthony Okonkwo, Michael, Alex, Matesh, Gungshi. Get in there, Kingslayer, Mohammed, Stephen Shipman, Travis, Dang Sham, Kai, Stoic, John, everybody, and everybody else as well. Thank you so much for getting here. Chloe, Chris, Duke of Rodtown, Sing Games, great to see you. Everyone, thank you so much for joining us, and everybody else as well. Do us a favour at the start of this stream. Smash that like button on it. Give us a massive thumbs up if you haven't done so. Drop the likes on it. You know it makes sense. Oh, yes. Give us a thumbs up. That will help the channel out. Also, share it around. The link is pinned to the top of the live chat. If you want to give us a cheeky little repost over there on Twitter, we'll shout you out later on. Oh, yes, we will. Right, let's get into it then, folks. Cuckoo, cuckoo, cuckoo. What's going on, man? Manchester United looking like we're going to be bringing in Mark Cucurella. It's happening, guys. It's happening. It's happening, guys. Sideshow Bob Mark II is coming to the football club. Hey, look, to be fair, everybody seems to be slagging this deal off, right? I actually think it's a bit of a reasonable acquisition from Manchester United. I think it's decent. I don't think he's the next Roberto Carlos or anything, but I think he's been decent over the last couple of years. Okay, last season he was pretty gash at Chelsea, but that's because Chelsea were gash. That's because he was absolutely gash-tastic. And United need, obviously, to get extra depth in this team due to injury crises that we've got currently at the moment. Yeah, Marky Coffin, I think he's a good player as well, you know. Okay, is he elite? Is he worldy sort of material? No, probably not. But is he a good player that can come in and challenge for the starting spot on this side? He probably can. I mean, look, Luke Shaw, as good as he is, even when he's fit, you could argue that Cucurella could get in there ahead of him. Some people may disagree with that statement, but you could argue at least that Cucurella, based on form and how things are going, obviously, he could maybe be getting in there. So it's extra depth, it's extra competition for places. It's no bad thing to have an extra good standard player like this at the football club. And as we said previously at Brighton, he was absolutely very good. When he was at Brighton, everybody shite at Chelsea last season. Guys, doesn't matter who you are. João Felix, gash. Fernando Fernandez, gash. Mason Mount, gash. Everyone was gashed there last season because Chelsea were gashed last season as a team, as a collective. But individually, I think Cucurella's actually pretty decent. I mean, smash a one in the live chat if you think that, Cucurella would actually be a good addition to the squad. Or smash a different number in the live chat if you don't think he's worth picking up and he would be gash. Let us know your thoughts, but I honestly think that he would be a good addition to the side, especially due to injury crisis we're currently facing. Chris Parker says yes. Lots of ones coming in the live chat, to be fair here, guys. A couple of twos. Duke of Rodtown doesn't rate him. Fair play. Well, you know, look, he's obviously... It's obviously a decent short-term deal, isn't it? It's not like we're looking to bring this guy in on a permanent basis. Maybe there would be an option to buy. Let's get into the sort of news that we've got about. He's a good addition, isn't he, Enigma Owl? Absolutely. We need defensive players in the squad. We've got issues. So I don't know if you saw, guys, but Raphael Varane continues to be made out of papier-mâché, wilting in the hot sun. What an absolute complete crumble job of a player. It seems like he's out for 6 weeks, is a report that I heard earlier. So this is from Sky Cave, who reports that Raphael Varane could potentially be out for up to 6 weeks due to suffering an injury against Nottingham Forest. Fucking hell, this guy is an absolute sick note, isn't he? He makes Darren Anderton look robust, this twat. It is pretty outrageous that the fact that this guy just is constantly on and off that physio table. Him and Tony Martial got a season ticket for the fucking hospital, these twats. It's unreal. So, look, he's another player. Well, something about French players in particular, I don't know. They just like to get injured a lot, don't they? What's that all about? French player potentially injured out for 6 weeks. Nice one. That's good, isn't it? Shit the bed. So because of that, we need more defensive options. Okay, look, Cucurella's a left back. He's not going to be playing in the centre-back positions, but Luke Shaw can play centre-back. So in a few weeks' time, when Luke Shaw's hopefully back, he's out injured for a while now too, by the way, due to a Frey Bentos-related muscular injury. Get your Frey Bentos emojis in there. He's out for a long time as well. But once he's back, he can give us a bit of centre-back defensive depth, I suppose. If you think about who's available in the defensive areas, nobody wants to see that human Easter Island statue playing for us at centre-back, guys, a.k.a. Slabbo the Slab. Nobody wants that. So we'd rather see Luke Shaw come in and play alongside, say, Martinez. We saw that 5-6 times last season due to necessities and due to the fact that Slabby Maguire's a shambles of a man. And he actually did really well at centre-back. So he gives us a bit of depth there. It doesn't hurt to have another left-back to be able to play in that position, does it? Malassi is also out injured at the moment. Fucking hell. It's a real nightmare. We've got so many injury problems already at the start of this season. It exposes the problems United have in terms of the depth. Mason Mount's injured at the moment. Need to bring in another midfielder. We've got these defensive vulnerabilities. Harry Maguire lingering around here like a fart in a spacesuit. Nobody wants him. He's, of course, unprepared to go anywhere else that does want him because he's got two big bollocks, space hopper bollocks as testicles, it seems. And he thinks he's the absolute dom. And so he doesn't want to go anywhere because he's too cool for school, basically, Harry Maguire. And so we're stuck with that guy, but it doesn't mean we should go and play Harry Maguire just because Varane is injured. I'll ask the live chat, guys. Who do you think should be our, centre-back pairing if Rafael Varane is injured for 6 weeks coming up for the next 6 weeks? Who should be the two that we play currently who's in the squad? I mean, it probably is an easy answer, really. It probably is going to be, of course, Lisandro Martinez and Lindelof, I suppose. The Iceman. Exactly, Hashim. The Iceman and the Butcher. Great couple of nicknames, Great couple of nicknames, really. If these guys were in Top Gun, they'd fit in pretty nicely, wouldn't they? But 90 likes, that's awesome, everyone. Thank you, everyone, for smashing that like button. We've got nearly 300 legends watching. Let's see if we can get 300 likes on the show. Take a second to drop a little thumbs up button. Berber, great shout, lad. He would rather Evans over Maguire. Me too. Completely agree with you, Berber. Well said, lad. I know. Particularly with what Maguire's done, which is refusing to leave us and leaving us in a position where we've got some absolute melter lingering around and he doesn't even want to be prepared to go and play football somewhere. For his own benefit, you'd think he'd want to go and play in order to get in Southgate's squad. But Southgate's like, oh, English friends. Oh, melter friend. Southgate can see a lot of himself in Harry Maguire, I think, because he's a sort of fucking meltoid that slips up, melts, and gets you dumped out of major tournaments, you know what I'm saying? That's right, penalty misses Euro 96, this sort of guff. This is what we're talking about here. Gareth Southgate's a complete perennial meltoid, and so he probably sees a lot in Slabby Maguire. It's like, Maguire, you can go and play for Kettering Town and I'll still select you because you're my English football melter friend. It's a disgrace. But either way, Evans would be lovely to bring in instead as a backup. Yeah, 35-year-old Evans to replace Varane. I would still rather him than Maguire. I'll ask the live chat on that one as well, guys. Maguire or Evans coming in as a backup? Maguire or Evans? Get your votes in. Maguire or Evans? Evans or Maguire? Maguire or Evans? Evans or Maguire? Let us know. Who would you rather? Evans. To be fair, Southgate was actually a good player. I actually rated Southgate back in the day. Doesn't stop the fact he's an absolute melter, though, does it? Do you know what I mean? Fucking melter with that penalty miss. That's all he's remembered for. Being a shiter who Roy Keane stomped on, mate. That's all he's fucking remembered for. A penalty misser who Roy Keane stamped on and who got money from England's misery by selling his soul to Pizza Hut for a fucking advert where he wore a fucking brown paper bag on his head. And Stuart Pearce, and fucking, what's his face? Who else was in that advert, guys? Was it Hoddle?
Super chat.
I think it was Waddle, actually. It was Waddle. Yeah. Waddle and Stuart Pearce taking the piss out of him on a telly advert for cash. That's the sort of guy we got in charge of England, mate. He sells his soul to the fucking Satan, this guy. A true melter. Anyway, Zamiasi, thank you very much for getting in here with a super chat, lad. He said something here. What's he said here? Yeah, it was Waddle. That's the one. It was Waddle. It was Waddle. And there's my brother from the same mother, by the way, getting in the live chat, by the way. What's going on? AKA the Poster Koglu lover. Zamiasi says, how will Cucurella and Evans cope with Saka, Rice and Martinelli? Why did United spend 160 million on those? Onana, Mount and Højlund, Holy Land. You could have got Maddison and Neymar for that amount, says Amiasi. Okay, well, fair enough. I see what you're saying in regards to Maddison. I do rate Maddison, and I've always rated Maddison higher than Mason Mount, to be honest with you. But Neymar can fuck off. Neymar's a complete mercenary, egomaniac, prima donna, diving Tom Daley, wannabe, melter, crybaby, pussbag. That's what he is, mate. We don't need players like that. You know, he's an Arsenal player if ever I've seen one. But no, he's obviously gone over to Saudi Arabia at 31 years of age. That tells you everything you need to know about Neymar. Still plenty of miles left on the clock at top level European football to chase the accolades. Instead, he's happy to be a complete money-grabbing mercenary over in Saudi. Who needs players like that? Who needs players like that? Nobody wants players like that other than maybe you Arsenal bottle mugs. So, yeah, no, not interested in that. But, okay, look, we did spend a lot of money on certain players. You're talking about Andre Onana. Andre Onana is going to be a fantastic player for us, Amiasi, lad. I can feel it in my loins. Højlund may well be an awesome player for us as well. 20 years of age, doing what he's doing already. Of course, he's injured at the start of this season for United. But one day, he could be an absolute worldie. That's what we're banking on. Mount, on the other hand, yeah, 60 million on Mount. That doesn't make all that much sense. That's the only thing I semi-agree with to you, boss. With you, boss, there. Just on, actually, Onana, I don't know if you saw the reports earlier on. Berber foreshadowing this the other day, by the way. They call him Mystic Berber because he predicts these things. So we were talking about Andre Onana and the potential of him maybe leaving United for a good few weeks during the Africa Cup of Nations, which obviously comes around in January sort of time. And we were talking about the fact that Rigobert Song had a falling out with Andre Onana, and he basically essentially retired from international football a while ago. Well, guess what? Just when you think he's out, they pull him back in. And there are reports coming out today from James Ducker from The Telegraph and various other outlets that suggest that Andre Onana could miss up to 5 weeks of the new year after the goalkeeper was recalled by Cameroon. Yeah, that's right. That's right, guys. What a load of absolute steaming shite. We've had a complete mare. You know, this is it. So that is something we had to think about. Obviously, at the time when we bought him, there wasn't really the threat of that because Manchester United knew that he had that falling out and he'd sort of stopped himself from playing for the international side of Cameroon. But now, obviously, it looks like he's back in, which means we're going to be without him for a long, significant amount of time in the new year. What a nightmare piece of news this is as well. Not only do we have an injury crisis, but we may be missing our number one goalkeeper in Jan, which goes to beg the question, should have United maybe looked at keeping David De Gea? Should we have maybe looked at getting somebody else? I do think stylistically he's obviously great for what Ten Hag's trying to do, but it's not a perfect scenario with Andre Onana at the club. That's the problem. De Gea still available? He is still available, Chris Barker. You know, I wonder if he come and play for United at a temporary basis there. I doubt it. But anyway, he's a totally different player to Onana. Stylistically, he's just not going to fit in with what we're trying to do. But he is actually a really good goalie, isn't he? Very good goalkeeper. Okay, guys, let's get into the news anyway. Sorry, I got off on a little bit of a sidetrack sort of rant there, didn't I? But, hey, look at this. We've got a new member of the channel. Everybody get your favourite emojis to welcome Georgie Ivanov, who's been a member of this channel before, and he's re-upped his membership. Thank you so much there, Georgie Ivanov, for becoming a member of the channel, mate. Get in there, my son. Everyone, welcome in Georgie Ivanov. I do appreciate you. Thank you very much for supporting the channel, mate. Go on, get yourself in there, raw lads. Appreciate it. Much love, Georgie. Right, let's talk about the Cucurella news, guys. So I get all the information that we've got up on the screen for you now and get into it. Thank you, everyone. Get in there, Sing Games. Thank you, everyone, for being here. And do get involved in the chat. We will dip in and out of the live chat throughout the show. That's kind of what we do around here. It's an interactive channel. But then we will have a big Q&A at the end of the show as well, so stick around for that. But right now, I want to discuss the Cucurella news. At this moment in time, there has been a bid sent from Manchester United to Chelsea for the acquisition of Cucurella. As per Fabrizio Romano, he reports that Manchester United sent a bid to Chelsea for Marc Cucurella after talks revealed 2 days ago. He understands that the loan fee offered is in excess of £2 million. Chelsea want more. Talks are ongoing to make it happen. Cucurella is open to joining United since Saturday. So, you know, very positive stuff here that we are trying to get this guy in on a short-term loan basis. That's all it will probably be, maybe for the season, perhaps with an option to buy. Who knows? But it does look like it's very much on the cards. And there's other reports that have come out that suggest that it could be a significant amount more than that in terms of the loan fee. Laurie Whitwell says that Chelsea have asked for $7 million for Cucurella's loan. Obviously, United aren't realistically expected to pay $7 million for a short-term loan, but maybe somewhere in between those two figures will be the final initial amount that Manchester United have to pay. So Fab said that it's in excess of $2 million. Laurie Whitwell's reporting that it could be up to $7 million that Chelsea are offering. So maybe we end up giving them $4 million to take him on for the season. Which I could see happening. Also, big news, guys. Big news about Cucurella agreeing personal terms with Manchester United. He's agreed to join Manchester United. That's not the issue here. So he's agreed to join us. That's the key thing. Fabrizio understands that Manchester United have reached an agreement in principle with Cucurella on personal terms. Green light has arrived on the player's side. Man United won't negotiate for any other left back now, as they want to get Cucurella deal done with Chelsea OCP. You know what I say to this, guys? You know what I say? I actually say, get in there, my son. You know, a lot of people are saying, oh, look at this bargain basement shopping team right now having an absolute mare. And that's true in all other regards. In all other regards, that's true. In every area that we are not going to buy players in. We haven't got a number 9, we haven't got a midfielder, we haven't got a centre-back. But actually, there's no bad thing about bringing in Cucurella. He's a good player, he's a decent lad, and he will give us a bit of depth over on that side. And indirectly, a little bit more depth in the centre of the defence as well, I suppose, with Luke Shaw being able to be utilised there. I think Cucurella's a good signing, good short-term deal, because he's a good, classy player. Okay, he's not an elite player or anything, but he's a good standard player. If we could get him on a loan-to-buy basis, and if he does well, perhaps we could get ourselves another good player in the future. He's got the potential to go in and challenge Luke Shaw for a starting place, so it's not like he's just some young melter, some backup inexperienced player. No, he would actually be vying for a starting spot in the side. So that's what's exciting about him. I think he would give us depth and extra added quality, so I'm all for it, to be honest. Look, out of all of the 5 defenders or left backs that we've been linked with, he's the one that I would much prefer. So I'll ask the chat on that one, actually. So we know that the shortlist for 5 left-backs that we were looking at, we need a left-back. Malassi is injured for a significant amount of time. Luke Shaw's injured a significant amount of time. Varane's now injured, which indirectly, has a knock-on effect there as well for a significant amount of time. We've only got Wan-Bissaka on the right. Dalot can play the left, but what if anything happens to Wan-Bissaka? Then we're absolutely screwed. So we need a left-back. We've got a short list of 5 players. You've got Sergio Aguirre we were interested in. Marcus Alonso, a.k.a. the axe murderer. No, he's not an axe murderer. A.k.a. the vehicular manslaughterer. Then we've got, of course, there was Tagliafico, who's got that, Ajax friends vibes with Eric Ten Hag as well there. And then the final one we were looking at in terms of left-back spot was Spinazzola. And so you've got 5 choices there. Let me know who you would rather get out of those 5 players, even just for short-term deals. So you've got Spinazzola, Cucurella, Reguilon, Marcus Alonso, and Tagliafico. Get your thoughts in the live chat, guys, with your choice out of those 5. My honest opinion is it would be Cucurella. Out of all of those 5 players, I say he's a decent signing. Exactly. Anthony Okonkwo, Cucurella on his day keeps Shaw on the bench. Spinazzola says Enigma out. Spinazzola's a very decent option as well, to be fair. But Cucurella proven in the Premier League. Kingslayer says Cucurella. He was brilliant at Brighton, Batman Night fan. That's what we're basing this on as well. It's not just him at Chelsea. Everybody was shite at Chelsea last season. Everybody was guff at Chelsea. Chelsea were guff last year. But it is also about just the overall picture. We signed Mount on the back of a bad season at Chelsea. We can't write him off just because he was crap last season, didn't get much game time there, and Chelsea were awful. Everybody was awful at Chelsea. They were a laughing stock last year. Zayn Miyasi, thanks for your $9.99 super chat here. Let's get some poos in the live chat there for Zayn. Zayn, what you chatting, mate? What are you chatting here, bud? He says, imagine Cucurella, even Mount Maguire. Oh, sorry, Evans, Mount Maguire. You're pissed up, aren't you, Zayn? Imagine Cucurella, Evans, Mount Maguire, McTominay in the same team. What happened to the champagne football even Arsenal fans admired under Fergie? What happened to the champagne football, mate? Goodness me. What happened to the tiki-taka majestic football that Arsenal used to play under Arsene Wenger, my son? What happened to the mercurial talents of Denis Bergkamp and Thierry Henry and teams like this at Arsenal who actually were capable of winning things? What happened to the teams that were able to get to Champions League finals and bottle them, might I add, and lose in the final and never win a Champions League? But what happened to those standard teams that were able to get to the finals of Champions League? What happened to those teams that were able to win Premier League titles? I'll tell you what happened. It left on the fucking train to Nowheresville 20 years ago, you complete mug. Don't be slagging off United saying what happened to the champagne football, mate. We're bringing back the days of the Dom Perignon at United eventually under Eric Ten Hag, lad. You know what you are? You're nothing but a bunch of lemonade brigade melters, lad. Fucking hell. Don't even come at me, bro. You used to play great stuff under Arsene Wenger. You used to be challenging for stuff. Not the latter part of his Arsenal career, because there were a bunch of top four melters and that's it. No, always challenging for top four and never anything else. But goodness me, you're trying to trigger me here, Zane. No, goodness me, don't even compare Manchester United and Arsenal, lad. Arsenal haven't been anywhere up there for 20 years, bud. I was a teenage melter, doing bongs in a fucking park when the last time Arsenal were decent, lad. You know what I'm saying? The fuck's the matter with you, man? Goodness me. Zamiasti, you've got some issues there, my son. You have got some issues. Kunksy says lemonade brigade melters. Exactly. So, you're talking rubbish, Zane, as always. As always, talking rubbish there, Zane. Nobody agrees with that. Okay, look, obviously, to be honest, we're not where we want to be. We're not like we were under Sir Alex Ferguson, of course not. But like I said many times on this channel, there were various seasons under Fergie where the football wasn't always that great, where we didn't always win the league, where we finished third, where we didn't do the business, where we went trophyless. Look, he was very successful, more successful than not, really. But there were still times when it wasn't perfect. Ten Hag's had one season here at United, and he's a few games into this new season. For anybody to say that the football's shite or write us off already at the start of the season, you're on the crack pipe with Zayn Miasmi, guys, if that's the case. So just calm down, give him a bit of time, give him a bit of backing. Get in there, Mr. Dark Knight 22. He says Ten Hag's signings have been shocking so far. Anthony offers nothing. Mount bang average. The squad is worse off now than last season. Is he the man? Says Dark Knight 22. I'm gonna disagree with a caveat and say that a couple of the signings are looking a bit ropey. But you can't argue that the majority of his signings, I think, have been actually quite successful. What about Martinez? What about Casemiro? You know, we've got to have a think about players like Malacia was a bargain, cheap player as well. I mean, Onana looks very good. We have to wait and see how he materialises. It's early days for all of them. Yeah, okay, I do think Mount's quite a bang average player and quite a bang average signing, especially for 60 mil. I'd have rather Maddison for 40 mil. But you've got to give him time. Stop writing off these players just 3 games into the season. I don't rate Mount either, but I'll give him a chance. I'll back 24-year-old Mason Mount at United if that's what Ten Hag wants. Ten Hag is, you know, a smart man. He's got good tactical nous, and he obviously knows how he wants to play. And he's highlighted Mason Mount as a certain player to fit into that system. Anthony's still young. Anthony's raw. Anthony is a bit of a one-trick pony, and unfortunately just hasn't really lived up to the price tag at the moment. But is it his fault that he cost 85 mil? No. If he cost 35 million, we wouldn't really be having this same level of conversation about him. It's just the fact that we had so much expectation from Anthony, and because he was like Ten Hag's main guy that he brought in and put all of his eggs in the basket of with that price tag, we were expecting like the world from him. He's still actually a young guy who could come good. He needs time, he needs to develop. He's just very much a one-trick sort of player who doesn't have the consistency that we need. We need like ready-made ballers. But as I've said to you many times on this channel, Rome wasn't built in a day, particularly with players' careers. Think about, say, Iron Robin. To compare Iron Robin to Anthony right now seems laughable, but think about Iron Robin when he was a young player. He was nowhere near the player he was in the latter parts of his career when he was at, say, Bayern. You know, he was a totally different animal. He was one of the world's best later on in his career. But earlier on, you know, you could have easily written him off. So let's just hope that Anthony surprises a few people. I do think he's been pretty bang average, though, for too long now. But he's only been here a year. Let's give him a bit of time. That's all I'm going to say on that one. Zamiasi's got in here again. He says, Pig, would you rather see a sequel to Stargate with Kurt Russell or a third Independence Day film as they're made by the same director? You know what I'd rather see, Zamiasi? I'd rather see you starring in Psycho 2. You know what I'm saying? Where you play not only the main character, Anthony Perkins' role, but you also play as Mum. And you can sit up there in the old clock tower, yeah? Rocking back and forth in your fucking rocking chair, mate. Going mental. Because you are clearly deranged, bro. We were on here talking about fucking football, talking about Manchester United. You're coming in asking me what fucking sequels I want to watch, bud. You're clearly mental, bud. You are Norman Bates' mum in disguise, mate. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? You are a fucking monstrosity of an individual, lad. What would I rather? Independence Day 3? I mean, that's jumped the shark, mate. The second one was unnecessary anyway, bro. First one's a banger. The sequel is fucking bang average, lad. Let's be honest. It didn't even have Will Smith in, mate. He's too busy slapping fools. You know what I'm saying? Goodness me. And the answer's Stargate with Kurt Russell, mate. The Stargate movie was good. Kurt Russell's an absolute G. The answer's Stargate with Kurt Russell. But you know what? I'd much rather see Psycho Part 7 starring Zayn Miyasi as every single person in that film. You know? Because you are a lunatic, lad. Zayn, thanks for that, bro. What are you talking about? Anyway, okay. So, let's get back onto the Cucurella news, guys. Let's get back onto the Cucurella news. Bid's been sent. That's what we know. Ornstein reporting that as well. So it's not just Fabrizio. All the tier 1 journos coming out here raw and suggesting that this deal is on the cards and it has been sent. Man United have had that discussion with Chelsea. So Ornstein says that United have submitted a proposal to sign Marc Cucurella from Chelsea. Chelsea responded. Talks are ongoing. The offer is an initial loan. Plus the clubs are discussing various parameters around that. So potentially it could just be a 6-month loan maybe to help cover our injury problems, or it could be a season-long loan. Probably more realistic to be a season-long loan, especially with a few £1 million fee. Of course it is. But the parameters surrounding it must indicate that maybe we're looking at an option to buy, maybe what the fee that will be, etc., in order to trigger an option to buy at the end of the season if we want him. So there's things like that going on. I mean, this guy's 25 years old. MUFC like him for 25-year-old for Ten Hag's system. Top candidate as things stand. Let's just have a look at some statistics. I mean, obviously, these aren't going to mean that much when they're not stacked up against other players in that particular season. We're not talking about last season. We're talking about the season before. While he was at Brighton, obviously. But if we have a look at some of his stats, I mean, he was very impressive in that season that he was at Brighton. Very impressive indeed. These stats aren't really going to mean all that much because it's hard to really compare him to, you know, we don't have the stats for the other players on the screen. But just look, statistically speaking, that season that he had, the season before he went to Chelsea, he was absolutely brilliant. He was excellent. Statistically speaking, he was excellent within the Premier League. And so we could be getting a very good player here for us. And stylistically for Ten Hag, he could be very good also. So I'm excited about the possibility of bringing him in. I'm not excited about the links to Højbjerg or, you know, some second-rate, even Gravenberch. You know, Gravenberch is a decent young player, but it doesn't change too much systematically at Manchester United. Whereas Cucurella gives us a good bit of depth and quality there. I'd be excited to bring him in. It's a good player to come and help us with this injury problem situation that we got. Ben Jacobs reporting that United are optimistic of securing the Marc Cucurella deal on loan from Chelsea. Cucurella's keen on the move. Man United first approached Chelsea at the weekend and decided yesterday that he was the priority from their targets to cover for Luke Shaw. Manchester United are prepared to increase our first offer. So as we heard from Fabrizio, it was more likely that the initial offer was in excess of £2 million. Some suggest that Chelsea want up to £7 million as an initial fee up front. But it'll probably be somewhere in the middle that United have to pay to bring this guy on, you know, on a different... you know, capacity. Zane says expression mount just uploaded. Oh, okay, nice one, Zamiasi. Thanks for what's the word? Thanks for you know, directing people away from my stream, you prat. Nice one, mate. Thanks for that, Zane. Call yourself a moderator, mate. Timing you out, mate. Do you know what I mean? What are you in fucking Expression's back pocket, mate? Drumming up for... He don't need the views, mate. He's got hundreds of thousands of followers, mate. I need the views, mate. What are you trying to do? Direct people away from my channel, mate. You fucking melter. Dale says we will come good, lads and ladies. There you go. So, you know, everybody will find that at their own time, so you don't have to go and fucking direct people over there, you twat. You know what I'm saying? I'm doing a live show right here, mate. Fucking hell. Right. Terrible moderator duties right there, lad. Terrible moderator duties. Okay. So, so United have agreed personal terms, right, with this guy. He wants to come. Happy days. SpongeBob Mark II in the house. I'm excited by it, guys. We're not going to dwell on it too much because we've got plenty of other transfer news to discuss. But I do rate that. I do rate that signing as an extra bit of depth. let's give it a rating out of 10. We do this with every signing we're about to make. It's a loan deal, maybe an option to buy. 25-year-old Cucurella, bit of a ropey season last year in that Chelsea Guff side, but great season before. Loan with an option to buy, maybe. How do you rate that signing out of 10? I'm going to give it a solid 7.5. I'm actually going to give it a reasonable signing. Now, as it is, standalone, not taking into consideration all the other bits of business we still need to do, but on its own, I think it's a good, strong acquisition from us. 7, says Francois. 4, says Kingslayer. Jimmy's going 7. 7.5, says AK. Pitty gives it a 6. Gunshy's going 7. Steven says a 6.7. Yeah, Berber says, I like it, to be honest, 8. Judging him on Brighton. Precisely, yeah. And that's all we can really do, because everyone was guff at Chelsea last year. 2 out of 10, says Arsenal Manic. Yeah, because that's because you're an Arsenal scumbag. And Arsenal scumbags, obviously, want us to not have the good players, but he is a good player. Yeah, thank you, Mark says. To be fair, you're right, Pig. Yeah, on the face of it, just him. Don't judge us on the other signings we're making, because as a transfer window overall, it's not been good enough, and we still don't have a midfielder, we still don't have a striker, and there's still issues at centre-back as well. So we really haven't done too well overall, but just him as a left-back coming in to give us depth and quality, it's a good signing. It's a good signing. Bang Average says stay gold. 6 because of last year. Yeah, Todibo, Amrabat and a striker. Chris Obiara, well said, mate. Now, that would complete this summer window as actually being a pretty decent summer window, wouldn't it? By the way, guys, 379 legends in it. Take a second to smash the like button on it. Do give us a big thumbs up. That's the one that looks like a big thumb. Smash the like button. It's free to like the video and it helps us out. So give us a little boost if you haven't done so. Take a second to give us a bacon brigade. Like Spike. How many are we on? Let's get this sucker to 200 thumbs ups. And also, if you're new to the channel, folks, make sure you do subscribe. We're on here with all the latest United news in a no bullshit format every single day and every single night. We cover the latest goings on, so make sure you do get involved and have your say in the chat. You can subscribe, it's free, and also give us a share around if you can. That'd be awesome. Nice one. 6 out of 10. We in for Tagliafico too? Well, there was definitely some strong interest from Ten Hag and United on Tagliafico because of his previous sort of links with United, with Ten Hag. But I think, obviously, now it is Marc Cucurella who's the number one sort of priority for United to bring in. He's the guy that we've actually pursued. He's the guy we've actually bid for. And we've already agreed personal terms with this guy. That is massive. The fact that we've actually had those discussions, those talks have taken place, and he's agreed to join Manchester United in principle. Obviously, in principle means that United and Chelsea have to reach an agreement. But Cucurella has agreed to join Manchester United. So that's massive. That indicates everything, really. We've already gone through that process. It doesn't always materialise. If the two sides can't reach an agreement, then it doesn't matter if we've reached an agreement with Cucurella. But he does want to come. He definitely does want to come. Disco says, if we get the option to buy with the deal, bring him in, could do well. Yeah, precisely, Disco. I think he's going to surprise a few people, you know. Based on his season at Brighton, I think he was excellent. I think he's going to surprise a few people. I think I can actually see him keeping Luke Shaw out of the side at some point. Luke Shaw's a very good player, and I do really rate, and let's not write off Luke Shaw, that it's never a bad thing to have competition for places, and maybe Luke Shaw could be playing centre-back, left-sided centre-back sometimes for us when we need to, because he did that very adeptly last season for us a handful of times. So it gives us a bit of extra depth at centre-back. It's actually a very smart move in that sense, because it does give us almost an extra centre-back without having an extra centre-back. So that's quite good. So even if we don't end up signing Todibo or being able to move along the Easter Island Slabo Maguire, if we can't do that, at least having Cucurella gives us another option at centre-back, because Luke Shaw can play there to a reasonable standard. So that is good. I like that. And going forward, maybe he just forces Luke Shaw out the side. We'll see. Luke Shaw is a good standard player, but I don't think he's ever going to be a worldie. Cucurella, you know, the same, I guess, could be said for him, but it's a toss-up if you ask me who's better out of those two. As a United fan, I would favour Luke, but if we actually see them together in the team this season fighting for that place, maybe he could force Luke out the side. Maybe he'll put Luke Shaw over on Frey Bentos tin opening duty. You know what I mean? Holding Slabby Maguire's hand while he makes cups of tea and cuts up the half-time oranges. Luke Shaw might be heating up the old Frey Bentoses in the electric oven, right, guys? So, in my opinion, it's a good deal. It's a good deal. Okay, let's cover the rest of what we've got then on this. There's not too much more to discuss on the Cucurella business, but we're just waiting for more confirmation that it will be coming soon. Hopefully there can be an agreement reached very, very soon between the two sides, and it would be a good acquisition for the short term for us because of all the injury problems we've currently got. That's it, really. It's nothing really major. It's not game-changing, but it does give us extra added depth and quality over in that position of the side. So quickly, very quickly, and then we'll get into the live chat for a couple of minutes and hear what you legends are saying about Cucurella before we move on to the rest of the transfer news. But look, this is brought on by the injuries that United have. I don't think we'd be buying Cucurella or trying to sign Cucurella if it wasn't for the fact that we have substantial injury crisis at United. So if we look at the current injury list, it's growing longer and it's not looking good at all. So this is it, guys. Current injury list. Rasmus Højlund has got a back injury. He's hopefully going to be back after the next little break, and perhaps, perhaps ready for the Arsenal game. It's possible. But if not, then it would be a nightmare. Because we'll still be playing with the gash forwards that we've currently got. Tyro Malacia's injured. I heard a report today that said he could be out for up to 6 weeks now. Maybe a longer injury than first initially feared. Ahmad Diallo's out injured still. Kobbie Mainoo's out injured still. Tom Heaton's injured. Mason Mount's injured. Luke Shaw's injured for up to 6 weeks as well. And Rafael Varane up to 6 weeks. So this is a serious injury list right now. So United had to do something. This is in response to our injury concerns and issues that we've got right now. So Cucurella coming in is just literally in response to all the injuries we've got. We've got no proper left backs in the side. It's a shame that Alvaro Fernandez maybe not given an opportunity, but he's clearly not ready. Ten Hag clearly doesn't think that he's ready to do the job to a high enough standard for us. You could have chucked him in there, but it could cost us. But a lot of players injured right there, guys, is the reason for all of this. And as we mentioned, if you missed it earlier on today, Rafael Varane's situation is that the length of time that he's expected to be out for is 6 weeks. Sky Cavi reporting that just in, Rafael Varane could be out for potentially up to 6 weeks due to suffering an injury against Nottingham Forest. What an injury-prone melter. So bringing in another left-back gives us a bit of extra depth at centre-back once Luke Shaw's back also. So very quickly, let me cover what we've got on Cucurella, and then I will get into the live chat for a few minutes and talk about Cucurella with you before we move on. So up to £7 million is what Chelsea want for a loan fee. That's not going to happen. It's known that the amount of money sent by Manchester United in their initial opening offer for this loan deal is more closer to around about £2 million or just over. So Fab says that United's opening bid has been sent to Chelsea after talks revealed 2 days ago. Man United understand that a loan fee is in excess of £2 million. Chelsea want more. Talks are ongoing to make it happen. Cucurella's open to joining United since Saturday. Deal's on. So, of course, they're going to have a bit of a negotiation there and probably reach an agreement somewhere in the middle. I'm expecting, £4 million up front would be a decent amount of money to pay for this guy for a season-long loan. Hey, nice. We're nearly at 200 likes. Thank you, Stephanie. Keep drubbing the thumbs ups, everyone. Nice one. And then also, we've got confirmation from David Ornstein that the bid has been sent by United. Ornstein confirmed this as well, so all the Tier 1 journos saying this has been submitted. He says Man United have submitted a proposal to sign Marc Cucurella from Chelsea. Chelsea responded, talks are ongoing. Offer is initial loan plus clubs discussing various parameters around that, i.e. I guess a buy clause at the end of it. And the Ten Hag system is what is the main thing, of main bit of interest for Ten Hag, is the fact that he can play the system. Top candidate as things stand. Doesn't mean this definitely will happen, but the key thing is that a deal has been reached and is agreed in principle between Manchester United and the player. So Fab reporting that a deal between the player and the club has been reached in principle on personal terms. Green light has arrived on the player's side. Man United won't negotiate for any other left backs right now, as they want to get the Cucurella deal done ASAP. So we know there was a short list of 5 players: Reguilon, that vehicular homicider, Marcos Alonso, Tagliafico, and Spinazzola, and also this guy Cucurella. So we have a short list of 5 players. Looks like we're focusing all our efforts on bringing in Cucurella now, which I think is the right player to get out of that list of players. Statistically speaking, he's going to be good for us, I think. If you look at what he did at Brighton the season before last, very impressive stats. Have to see if he can do that for United, but he is mid-20s and could provide extra cover. Ben Jacobs says Man United optimistic of securing the Cucurella on loan from Chelsea deal. Cucurella's keen on the move. First approached Chelsea at the weekend and decided yesterday that he was the priority from the targets to cover for Luke Shaw. Manchester United are prepared to increase the first offer. Initial offer over 2 million. They want 7. We'll meet them somewhere in the middle. Nice one. So it is looking very likely, guys, that Cucurella will be a United player soon, before the end of the transfer window closes. A couple of days it's still open for. I think this is brilliant news. Obviously, he is a good player for depth. It's not going to change anything miraculously at United. We still need a centre-back. We still need a central midfielder. We still need a striker to come in for this to be a successful transfer window. But I think it does definitely help us to suggest that this isn't a good sign, and I think is a little bit poor. Let's take a look at the live chat for a couple of minutes. I'm just going to dip in and see some of the initial Cucurella reaction from the live chat here. We will cover the rest of the news. We've got plenty more transfer news to discuss in a minute, but I am going to get into the the news now. So bear with me a moment. We've got bufferation issues by the seams of it, guys. Nightmare. What's going on? Oh no, that is not good. Why has my stream shat it? Oh no. It's back. Nightmare, guys. It just buffered for a second then. We got a bit of Bruce buffer action. Are we back, guys? Smash a 1 in the chat if we're back. I don't know what happened there. It just dropped off for a second there, peeps. Apologies. I think we're back now, guys. I think we're back. Apologies for that. Just give it a refresh. We are back. Sometimes it dropped off for a second there. You know, it's a Slabby Maguire-esque provider that I've got here, guys. Virgin Media shitting the bed. Okay, it's okay now. That's great. Thank you, everybody. Yeah. Make sure you smash the likes, guys. Give us a boost up there because we lost a couple of viewers there with the Gash stream melting. So give us a share around as well, and that would be awesome. Right then, nice one. Let's get stuck into the live chat for a few minutes, see what you legends are saying very quickly about anything we have discussed here on Cucurella. Yeah, Simon Heron says Cucur is the best that we can get. Who is better than what we can get at this late stage? Yeah, that's true. I mean, he is the best sort of player we can get at the moment. That's so true. Yeah, I think he is a good option out of all the players that we could get. Are we signing Højbjerg? We'll get into that in a minute. I'm just going to chat about Cucurella for a few mins with you legends. See what you legends are saying. No left back at all is worse. Precisely, Chris. I'm with you there, bud. 100%. Cucurella's gash, says Jamie Mackey. I disagree. I think he is a good standard player. Not a world beater or anything, but a very good standard player. As long as he keeps Slabby out, I'm happy. Good shout. So we've got Maguire at the club. We're still trying to sell him. We want to sell him, but only for the right price, not in a loan capacity. We need to try and give him some sort of a settlement to leave. If he was to go before the end of the window, maybe we could sign another defender like a Todibo or a centre-back or something like that. But if we can't get rid of him, we're realistically stuck with that wanker. And the last thing we want to do, really, is play Maguire hardly at all. Okay, fair enough. If we've got a couple of games here and there where we just need to stick a literal body in there, aka a bag of potatoes in there just to take up a number, then maybe you could use him once or twice. It doesn't matter how much he's paid. He doesn't want to go. He's just a backup. But if we had Cucurella in the side, once Luke Shaw is back fit, then that means that Luke Shaw is ahead of Slabby Maguire in the centre-back department. So that would mean that we have choices of Rafael Varane when he's back fit. He is injured. Martinez, Lindelof, Johnny Evans, and Luke Shaw as options all ahead of Harry Maguire, which is good for me, guys, because we know that Harry Maguire stylistically doesn't fit what we're trying to do. He's too slow. He is good for a low block side, but he's not good for a sort of pressing up high up the pitch side like what Manchester United are trying to do. He will leave you exposed. So we don't want him to go to as a backup because he doesn't even fit the style of what we want. That's really what the problem is with Harry Maguire. So we just don't really ever want to play him. Yeah, don't ever play him, says Simon. Yeah, we'll see who Poundland are selling on Friday night. That's a fair point. I think there is going to be a couple of interesting late surprises or interesting moves going on at the end of the transfer window, boss. I do agree with that, you know. Yeah, I'm with you there. Chocolate Soy Ball says Johnny Evans at United. Yeah, exactly. Must play. I watched him quite a lot, actually, mate. You're incorrect, lad. You haven't watched Cucur a lot, have you? He doesn't tackle. He always reckless, and he doesn't know how to get past players. Oh, really, Must play. That's interesting, lad. That's interesting, bud. We got some statistics here for you, which make for interesting reading for his time at Brighton. I think you're judging him on the last season at Chelsea, where admittedly he wasn't very good. Nobody was at Chelsea last season. They finished fucking 12th, and they were shite. But for Brighton, statistically speaking, the season before, the 21-22 season, he was excellent. Now, obviously, there is no other players to compare this with right now, but if I just get these stats up on the screen, you're saying that's the case. Well, okay, but he's great going forward, and his tackling stats and these sorts of stats you just said that he was poor and he's not good at tackling, well, these statistics the season before last would suggest that you are wrong. 64 tackles won, 64 passes into the box, 53 dribblers tackled, 44 crosses in the box, 17 progressive passes received, 208 plus tackles. All sorts of stuff going on statistically speaking here, mate. It's a little bit mashed together there. But if you want to look at his stats for the season before last, he makes for very impressive reading. So, I disagree with what you're saying. I think he can tackle. Maybe he's better going forward, as these passing stats would suggest. But if you think about the type of player that he is, for Ten Hag, he's probably ideal for what we're looking for short term, to be an attacking outfit and to give us something a little bit different. So I do like it, mate. I do like it. I think you're being a little bit harsh on him there. You're being harsh on him, mate, just because he was crap at Chelsea last season. Everybody was crap at Chelsea last season. I'll reiterate. Okay, right, guys. Couple more comments about Cucurella then. Chelsea was the kryptonite of footballers. Exactly. So Salah was shit at Chelsea. Look what he did when he left Chelsea. Ian Robben was shit at Chelsea. Look what he did when he left Chelsea. I think you're right. Chelsea can be a bit of a gash club for certain players to go to. I don't know, especially when, like last season, they've got a big club of egos and they've just got loads of players mashed together, brought together like in a short space of time, and they're expected to all gel overnight. It's not easy. Kevin De Bruyne is another one, Mount. Shite at Chelsea. Look what he's gone on and done. So you're right. Chelsea can be a little bit of a kryptonite sort of club for certain players. I like that. Great shout. Great shout. Hey, we smashed 200 likes. Baby, we did it. Break out the red panties. It's red panty night. The live chat's got us 200 likes, baby. 3 people died getting 200 likes on this stream, That's fucking excellent, guys. Thank you so much, everyone, for hitting the likes. Keep smashing the likes, guys. Right, I'm going to move on to the latest transfer news we've got elsewhere now, other than Cucurella. We'll get back into the live chat at the end of the show and discuss anything you want to talk about, but I'm going to move on with some other stuff. Shotty McShotomy McColostomy Bag McShortbread McTominay is in here with a possibility of leaving the club. We'll see. James Ducker from the Telegraph reporting that on Scott McTominay, Thomas Tuchel's an admirer, and there's interest from Bayern. I knew Tuchel was a gash coach. No, he's actually pretty decent, but an admirer of Scott McTominay. What's the matter with this clown? Thomas Tuchel's an admirer, and there's interest from Bayern Munich, but there seems a difference of opinion between what the Bayern coach wants and what the club want at the moment. Remains to be seen if a formal approach materialises. Yeah, well, I guess the club doesn't want to spend significant amounts of money on an absolute gash bag of a player. That's probably where the disagreement takes place. Thomas Tuchel might want him, but overall, I'd imagine if the general consensus, if everybody in Bayern's hierarchy was asked, maybe people would go, what, you mean that shite bag he plays for Scotland? You're talking guff. And if we look at the amount of money involved here, this isn't just a cheap deal. This isn't a bargain basement deal at all, no. This is like the equivalent of going to shop at Poundland, but, like Poundland, you go in Poundland, and they don't actually have all their products for £1. Like, they're selling stuff for 25 quid, £30. It's supposed to be called Pig in Poundland. It's supposed to be a quid. But no, they got some items, some top shelf items that cost a lot more than £1. They get you in the door with the guys that everything costs £1, and then they got some high ticket items in there. That's Scott McTominay for you. You're expecting a Poundland price, but actually what we want is some top tier, bloody upper echelon type money for the guy. Look at this. Reports are from the Times that we want 40 to 45 million pounds for Scotty McShotty McColostomy Bag McShortbread McTominay. That's absolutely outrageous. What an obscene amount of money to expect to get for an average player. So that's what's going to be the fall down for United, I think, this summer, getting rid of Scotty, is just being too greedy. We mentioned this previously, that West Ham had already bid a great amount for Scotty. 30 million quid was a fantastic amount of money to receive for such a bang average player who really is not all that and hasn't been ever, for the last 4 seasons, for Manchester United. Just hasn't really ever lived up to it. To get 30 million for him, to be able to go and reinvest that in another player, would have been an excellent bit of transfer dealings for United. But again, far too greedy. We were expecting so much more. Yeah, inflate the price. Look, I get it. There's lots of players going for big money. You look at all the different players going for big money. Even Mason Mount, who in my opinion is a bit of a bang average player, is going out for £60 million. Kai Havertz, a.k.a. Cry Havertz, a.k.a. Gashbag, is £65 million. That's preposterous. Declan Rice, 105 million. Caicedo, 110 million. No, prices are absolutely mad these days. You've got to be fair. So I guess if you're actually comparing him to those sorts of players, maybe he is worth more than 30 million. But when I say he's worth more than 30 million, he might be worth like 30 million and a packet of Tonics tea cakes. Maybe 30 million and a packet of caramel-filled chocolate digestives. You know what I'm saying? Maybe 30 million pounds and a crate of fucking McEwen's lager. You know what I'm saying? Maybe 30 million pounds and a fucking truck full of haggis. You know what I'm saying? He's not worth a heck of a lot more than 30 million pounds. He can't be, based on his abilities and the fact that he's shite. So I don't understand it, but there you go. United holding out for a lot more money for him. That's why we didn't sell him to West Ham. It's a shambles. Guys, get your valuations in the live chat for Scott McTominay. Henry says 25 to 30. Stoic says he's worth 50. 50 what? What's he worth 50 of, mate? 50 sets of bagpipes, lad? 50 sets of fucking bagpipes, mate? I'd rather have 50 bagpipes than that. At least you can get some sort of bagpipe orchestra together, mate. And they can play like some fucking Bonnie Scotland tunes, mate. You know, at least you get some fucking entertainment out of 50 bagpipes, mate. Scott McTominay ain't worth jack shit, son. As far as I'm concerned. Hobnob's done. Stoic Savage, precisely. 50, 25, 50 camels, 51 minutes, says TJ Combe. 90 minutes, says TJ. It's a lot of money, guys. It's a lot of money to expect to get for Scotty McColostomy bag, is all I'm saying. I gotta love the sound of the bagpipe line. I do. I like it. It's nice. Anyway, we're not going to get onto that, guys. We're not going to get onto that. It's just outrageous. But Bild over in Germany are reporting that Bayern do like Scott McTominay, and there's a feeling that maybe a deal could be done. So Bild in Germany say this. Bayern Munich are very interested in Scott McTominay. Man United would be willing to negotiate the 35 to 40 million pound asking price. There is an exciting indication it will happen. An exciting indication it will happen. What the fuck does that mean? I don't think that there is an indication it will happen. The indication it will happen is if we accept 30 million pounds for him, a significant amount less than that. 30 to 35 to 40 million. It's not going to happen, I don't think, guys. You know, there's a reason West Ham walked and went and got Ward-Prowse for 30. There was good value in that deal compared to this deal. There's not that much great value in a Scott McTominay deal for 35 to 40 million. Maybe 35 at an absolute top level. So Bayern understandably had that interest. Thomas Tuchel has been borrowing Zayn Miasi's crack pipe. For anybody who doesn't know, you know, Zayn Miasi likes to go to Salt Bay's restaurant. He likes to hang out with the big bollock ballers. And what he's been doing in his downtime is hanging out with Zayn Miasi. Thomas Tuchel's gone to Salt Bay's restaurant. He's had some twat dressed like fucking Captain Jack Sparrow from Pirates of the Caribbean, sprinkling some fucking gold flake on his steak and paying 20 grand for the privilege of it. And then afterwards, he's been going back to Zayn Miasi's little gaff there in Mayfair or wherever he lives. He's a posh twat, ain't he? Goes back with him and just gets right bang into some crack cocaine. I think that's what's going on there, guys. Because clearly he's off his fucking rocker if he wants Scotty McTominay. What a fucking lunatic. Crazy Joe Davola, thank you very much for getting it over Super Chat, lad. I appreciate you. He says, hey, Pig, how have £400 million made United better, says Crazy Joe Davola. Do you know what? I would answer that if it wasn't for your disgusting badge, Crazy Joe Davola, mate. Please, 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 can you change that badge, mate? It offends me. It offends my eyes. It makes me feel queasy. It makes me feel disgusted. It brings a feeling of, I don't know, the last time when I looked at Harry Maguire's face. Sort of that sort of feeling it brings into the pit of my stomach, mate. And it's disgusting. I hate it. Please change your avatar to something less offensive, please, my friend. It's disgraceful, horrendous, horrible, and nobody's interested in answering or engaging with disgusting Manchester City avatar melters. But, you know, Crazy Joe, thanks for the £5. I will answer it, mate, because you sent a £5. Otherwise, you could do one. But he says, hey, Pig, how have £400 million made United better? Okay, £400 million has made us better because we've signed £400 million worth of players, Zane. I just called you Zane, didn't I? See, that's the sort of vibe I'm on right now. You sound like a crackhead, my son. You're a Man City scammer, mate. So, you know, there you go. I'm getting crackhead vibes from you. That's why I called you Zane. No. £400 million has made us better, I guess, because, well, it hasn't really. It hasn't really, I guess, is the answer to that. But it will. Time will tell on that one. Look, we can't obviously expect it to happen overnight. We've got to wait for time to materialise. 85 million on Antony. It doesn't look like 85 million was well spent on Antony at the moment, but in future it might. Martinez has made us better. Think about the defence. When he's fit, Varane and Martinez is a very good centre-back pair, and that's made us better. That's better than Maguire and Lindelof. That's definitely made us better. In terms of the other areas in the side, Mason Mount, that's still up in the air. Antony's still up in the air. Even Højlund's still up in the air. So you're talking about judging him on a season which hasn't taken place yet. I'll tell you how it made us better. Last season we spent 220 million and we finished third. We got to the FA Cup final. We got a League Cup title. Okay? That's how it made us better. We didn't do that the season before, did we? So the 220 million made us better last season, and now we spent another 170 million and we're still spending some more, and that could make us better. But there's no point prejudging Erik ten Hag and Manchester United right now. Yeah, you might say Mount and Antony and these guys are going to be flops. Give them a chance, give them time. Give them enough rope to hang themselves with, at least first. You're writing these players off before they've even had chance to really prove themselves. That's what I'd say. So, you know, you're obviously a Man City scummer who doesn't really appreciate the true progression that takes place at a football club. Oh, no. You don't understand the true progression and step-by-step improvements in increments that take place at a football club. Because all you are familiar with is buying success and just going out there and cheating, mate. That's all you know. You don't know about incrementally improving, gradually getting better and better and better and better until you are up there where you want to be. You don't understand that, mate. You just understand cheating, taking the shortcut. It's a disgrace, mate. That's all you understand, my son. Thank you, Crazy Joe DeVolo. I appreciate you getting in here. Hey, what's going on, Kate Cadet? How you doing? Thanks for being a member for 35 months. Hashtag 35. Nearly 3 years for Kate Cadet. That is awesome, lad. That's a long time. That's a long time. Thank you so much for supporting us for nearly 3 years, Kate Cadet, lad. I do appreciate that, dude. He says, fun fact, and a sausage soldier, might I add. Thank you, Kate Cadet. I do appreciate it, lad. Fun fact, Tunnocks has a reported net worth of £75 million, more than double the value of Scott McTominay. Is that true? Dude, that's cheap. That's cheap. You know, I'd rather Manchester United just acquired Tunnocks Tea Cakes, or Tunnocks as a company, than Harry Maguire. You know what I'm saying? Like, that would have been a better investment than Harry Maguire getting those Tunnocks tea cakes in. At least then you could have tea cakes for breakfast, lunch and dinner. You could have those caramel wafer bars. Tunnocks are absolutely OG. Big up Tunnocks, you know. You know me, guys. I'd love to be sponsored by Tunnocks. I love Tunnocks. They're a family-run company. They're a Scottish company. Fair play to them. You know what? And they are much more valuable to me than Scott McTominay or Harry Maguire or any of those guys. I'm actually surprised they're not worth more than that, mate. 75 million, that's a bargain. Anybody out there wanting to get into the confectionery game with a spare 75 million in the back burner, you can do worse than Tunnocks. But you know what? They're a family-run business, and they have remained a family-run business. They haven't been brought out by some conglomerate. They're not owned by Mondelez. They're not owned by Kraft or some bullshit, mate. No. They're owned by the Tunnock family. That's what makes them raw. That's what makes them awesome. And that's why they keep producing fantastic confectionery over the years. And I reiterate, I'm not sponsored by Tunnocks, even though I sound like I am. They're just a fantastic company, guys. I'm passionate about it, Stoic Savage. What can I say? I'm passionate about a Tunnocks tea cake, man. I really am. They're fucking elite. Proper tea cakes for local people. Exactly that. Exactly. Anyway, right, guys, we've got 400 people in here right now. Crikey, welcome in, everybody. Please do smash that like button on it if you haven't done. I keep saying it, but, you know, I'll keep saying it until you keep doing it, guys. Drop that thumbs up on it if you haven't done so. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. We're actually very close to hitting the next mini milestone of 73,569. So hit that subscribe button, help us get there. And also make sure you click the bell icon for notifications and stuff like that. Thank you so much. Yeah, I'm passionate about it, Berber. I'm more passionate about Tunnocks than most of our crap players. Unfortunately, these players don't deserve our passion. People like Harry Maguire, who linger around the toilet bowl, are not really deserving of the passion that we have in this project at United. Same for McTominay. I don't see the passion out there on the pitch regularly from these melters. They're just not good enough. We need to move them on and start investing in better areas like confectioners, for instance. No, right, I'm going to move on to the next bit of information we got. As I say, we touched on this earlier on, but Andre, oh no, what's his name? Oh no. He's been recalled to the Cameroon squad, guys. We talked about this a little while ago, that just maybe it might rear its ugly head, that he might have to go at some point to the Africa Cup of Nations. We didn't think it would be this soon, though, because apparently he'd fallen out with Rigobert Song, and he had basically retired from international duty. But it looks like he's now back in the fold, and he is going to be playing for them. And that is awful, guys. That means we could be without him for 5 weeks in the new year. What a shit show. Crazy Joe, thanks for gifting out a membership there, bro. I do appreciate that. Get in there, City Scummer vibes. Sharing some of that Sheikh Mansour money there. You're a cheater, lad. You're a cheater, bro. You know, this is ill-gotten gains, my friend. You know what I mean? Trying to butter everyone up, thinking you can just buy your way everywhere you want, mate. That's the City mentality. That's the cheater mentality, my son. You think you can just buy everything, mate? You know what I mean? You're a cheat, lad. You're a cheat and you're a disgrace. I'm joking. Thank you so much for getting in here with that. That's very kind. Vincent Bullock got the membership there. Come on. Thank you so much there, everybody. Let's get a little bit of a raw emoji in there, please, for Crazy Joe Davola. Do really appreciate that. Thank you so much, Crazy Joe, for doing that. That's very kind of you, mate. Get in there, Crazy Joe. Man City Scummer, vibes aside. Do appreciate it. Jarvis, how are you doing, mate? Good to see you, lad. He says, apparently West Ham is in the race for Brazilian wonder boy Marcos Leonardo. Oh, my God. Yeah, from Santos FC. Florian Plettenberg, Sky. Apparently he's in England at the moment. Unconfirmed. Thank you, Jarvis, for the little update there. That is very disconcerting, isn't it? This is a player that United should be trying to sign. Very good player, looks good. Obviously, haven't seen him in the European top league or anything, but playing the Brazilian league. Clips-wise, looks good. Statistic-wise, very impressive. Young, 20, physical, looks a good player. Certainly, as a backup option, as somebody who's an actual forward, as somebody who can actually score goals, who's a specialist in that area, we need somebody like that. We haven't got anybody like that beyond Rasmus Højlund. Rasmus Højlund gets an injury. If Rasmus Højlund's out for a significant amount of time or just needs a rest, our team is weakened. We don't have the depth up there. So we certainly do need to bring in a forward. I think I can see Manchester United maybe bottling it until January, then maybe going to try and sign somebody like Tony or something then. But I don't know. I just don't really have the faith in us to go and get somebody like Marcos Leonardo. I'll ask the live chat very quickly. Do you think we do sign a number 9 before deadline day? Yes or no, guys? Yes or no? Do we sign a number 9 before deadline day? I'm going to go ahead and say no. I don't think we will. Even if we sell Mason Greenwood, I don't think we will, which is probably not going to happen. I just got a feeling we'll bottle it, man. Yeah, Claire says no. Nas says no. Jason says no. Joshua thinks we will. No, no chance. No, no, no chance. Hell no, no, no. That's sad, isn't it, guys? What has Manchester United become, though? Where the fan base has that little belief in United actually going to get a player that we need. Yeah, I think you're spot on, Berber. I think we'll get Cucurella, that backup goalkeeper, obviously, Bayern, and a central midfielder, maybe. Let's move on to the centre midfield position. Everyone's saying no. Gungshi says no. It's a no from me, Carol. Everyone's saying no on that one. Very unlikely, but look, let's hope so. That's very disappointing if he ended up going to West Ham when we've got the opportunity to sign this good youngster. And he's not a lot of money either. We're talking about £25 million for somebody that is a big prospect. He could go on and do some good things. He could also be a flop. But at that age, you can mould him, you can obviously improve him significantly, and he could go on and do some good things. You've got to speculate to accumulate. There's been many players over the last 5 years we've discussed on this channel that we could have gone and got way before they ended up going to the clubs they went to, and they would have been great players for United. Ruben Dias is one of them. Julian Alvarez is another one of them. Moises Caicedo is another one. Could have had him for £5 million. But United were not prepared to speculate on spending £5 million on a relative unknown, even though he came with a great reputation for a young player and had bags of ability and potential at his age. And now look at him obviously going for £110 million. That's the sort of players that United could have got for a lot less money than what they're worth now. But instead, we were not prepared to go and speculate. Instead, we'd rather go and spend £80 million on a human fridge. It's outrageous. Thank you, Sonia Bloy, for subscribing to the channel. And thank you, Easy Joe K, for subscribing to the channel, guys. Get in there, my friends. We're creeping up. Smash the subscribe if you guys are new. Thank you, everyone. Alvarez would have been an excellent signing before he went to those City Scummers. Enzo Fernandez is another one as well. There's lots of players we've been linked to we could have got for a lot less, the fraction of the price that they ended up going for that they're worth now. Let's move on, though, guys, to the midfield position. So, yes, we are understandably still in for Højbjerg. What's known about that is that he was offered to Manchester United. So his agents, etc., speaking to Manchester United to see if we were interested in bringing him in. There's an understanding that we might be able to convince Spurs to sell him to us for around about £35 million. This is a report from Sky Sports News that says that Man United continue to assess the midfield options and are still looking to recruit in that area in the final few days of the window. Pierre-Emile Højbjerg has emerged as the latest potential option, with United being offered a chance to speak to the player. So, obviously, we've gone over this in the afternoon video today, but for anybody that wasn't there, my thoughts on Højbjerg is that he's maybe the right sort of style player. that we're looking for, i.e. a defensive midfielder. But he's only a good player. He's not a great player or anything. It shows a lack of ambition from United, but I guess it's better than nobody. That's the way I'd look at it, really. It's really uninspiring. If he's a Spurs reject, that tells you a lot, really. Why are we going sniffing around Spurs rejects? That's a big red flag, in my opinion. But you know, he would be a good addition to the squad. But that's it, really. And he's Danish, obviously. He's got that link and connection with Eriksen and with Højlund. Oh, Danish friends! You know, he's got that link and connection there. But other than that, it's like, it's a very uninspiring deal if we were to go and get him. But we are working on this. It seems that we've got some interest in signing him. There's been no official bid or anything lodged to Tottenham at this moment in time. So it's still reasonably unlikely. I mean, Man United spending £35 million doesn't really sound that likely. So I just feel like he would be a decent addition to the squad, because we need somebody that can play number 6. We need somebody that can play instead of or next to Casemiro. But it's not like top of the list or anything for us. It doesn't show a big amount of ambition for United to go and get Højbjerg. Although statistically speaking, last year in the Premier League, pretty decent stats from the guy. He's not a bad player at all. People calling him crap. I don't think he is a crap player. I think he's a good player. I don't think he's a great player. It's just another body in there, really. It's another player who could come in and do a decent job for us. And it's, like Berber always says, shopping around in the bargain bin, looking for some Poundland players who other teams don't want and who we're prepared to go and spend decent money on, when we could actually have ambition, go and spend a lot more money and go and get someone like Palhinha. Now, let's be honest, if Palhinha was to come into United, he's more than likely to be a success than Højbjerg. Nothing wrong with Højbjerg, decent player. But Palhinha's a defensive colossus in the midfield for Fulham in the Premier League last season, and would be giving us a lot more confidence that he could do a great job for us alongside Cassie or instead of Cassie, because he's just a better player, right? I mean, I'll ask the chat, guys. Given the choice between, if money was no object, obviously the difference between these two players is that Palhinha's probably going to cost in excess of, or around about double what Højbjerg would cost. So it's a budget thing for United. Again, it's Man United cheaping out, shopping for bargain basement dwellers. Shocking. But let's ask the chat, guys. Would you rather Palhinha? Would you rather Højbjerg? Just answer objectively. Let us know your thoughts. To me, it's blatantly obvious. It would be Palhinha. Yeah, because defensive stats last season were up there with the very best in the league. The guy's a machine. The guy's a defensive boss. And he would obviously come in and do a great job for us. The difference is that he costs double. So we're not prepared to do that because we're cheap. We've got Glazer shithouses as owners, and we're always shopping around in the bargain bin, sadly. Palhinha is the best player overall. Yeah, that's right. You know, we're shopping around in the bargain bin, guys. If we're going to Blockbuster, this is one for the 90s crew in here. If we're going to Blockbuster Video, guys, we're not looking at the top shelf. We're not going to buy the DVDs that feature Denzel Washington on the front cover. No, we're shopping around in the fucking bargain bin looking for Under Siege 67 starring Steven Seagal, mate, where he unleashes his Aikido on the villains. You know what I mean? That's the sort of bargain shit we're looking at. You know, it's just unacceptable. Palhinha for me, says Simon. Yeah, Palhinha all day long, every day of the week. Indeed, he would be a good shout as well, Matthew Smith. I'd have him, 100%. Chloe Jenkins says Palhinha. Thank you, guys, for backing me up there. Thank you very much for backing me up. So, it's not about who we can get to be the best. That ship has sailed at Manchester United, sadly, these days. It's about who we can get to fit a certain budget. And that shouldn't be how it is. United, with all the history and generation of cash that we have at the club, it's just the fact we've got Glazers as owners, we're in debt, we have to service these debts, we are shackled massively by them. In reality, we should have the biggest spending power in the league, or even the world. We're in the league that spends the most money in the world. We spent like over £2 billion this summer on players as a Premier League collectively. Why isn't United leading that? Why aren't we leading that? We might have spent a significant amount, but why aren't we leading that? If you think about the players we've sold as well, the net spend, you know, we can definitely do a lot more, but it's just because of the shackles we've got on, we can't go and, we can't go in and do it. Steven Seagal is still decent quality. Well, that's what I'm saying, Sharif 88. Okay, Steven Seagal might be decent quality, lad. He might have made a couple of decent movies, you know what I'm saying? Most of them are shite, let's be honest. But he might have made a couple of decent ones, you know? Jean-Claude Van Damme's another one. I like a JCVD movie, mate, you know? I like a cheeky Time Cop, or a Hard Target, or a cheeky Kickboxer, or a Bloodsport. But guess what? For every Bloodsport, there's a fucking Street Fighter, mate. For every Time Cop, there's a knockoff. You know what I'm saying? He's hit or miss shite, mate. You know what I'm saying? I like a bit of JCVD, he's decent. But he's in the bargain bin, is what I'm saying. Pierre-Emile Højbjerg is the Danish Jean-Claude Van Damme of footballers. You know what I'm saying? He's good, but he's not blockbuster. He's not top draw. He's not Denzel. He's not Laurence Olivier. You know what I'm saying? He's not fucking Marlon Brando. No, he's not. He's a Belgian karate man who makes dodgy movies. That is what Højbjerg is, guys. He's a similar sort of dude. Kingslayer says Street Fighter was awesome. Get out. Get out, Kingslayer, mate. Street Fighter was awesome. Get out. Have you been hanging out with Zayn Miyagi again, bro? Get out, mate. Have you seen Ken in Street Fighter? He's a skinny little ginger bloke, mate. In the video game, he's a fucking muscle-bound blonde dude. They've only given him to some fucking Nicky Butt lookalike, that role. The worst casting I've ever seen in a movie ever, bud. They've got a US Army soldier with a United States flag tattooed on him. Guile is his name. And guess what? He's played by a Belgian with a dodgy accent, mate. And you're telling me that's a good movie? Come on. The only good thing about that is Raul Julia or whatever who plays fucking M. Bison. He's fantastic in that. Everyone else is shite. It's a fucking terrible movie. Kylie Minogue's in it, mate. And she's fucking terrible. You don't tell me that's a good movie, lad. Sorry, that's a terrible film. I mean, look, it was a guilty pleasure as me when I was a kid because I was like fucking 6 and a complete idiot. But it's actually a terrible film. I watched it a few years back and I was disgusted with how terrible it was, in fact. It was awful. Anyway. Hey, fair play to you, Chris. I touched the nerve there, have I? Well, I'm sorry. You know, there was some good elements about it. You know, Zangief was very believable. You know? Like, that Zangief was good. Other than that, it was shite, mate. Street Fighter's so bad it's good, pig. Oh, I don't know about that, guys. Street Fighter movie was fucking bad. It was bad, guys. Come on, let's not sugarcoat anything here. It was crap. Right, okay, guys, let me just cover one or two more things about that midfield. So we are looking at, obviously, Højbjerg. He's an option. He's been offered to us. Maybe we'll go for him. Master of the Universe is a great movie, Stoic Savage. That's a fantastic movie, mate. Skeletor, Castle Grayskull and all that, mate. Dolph Lundgren's a fantastic He-Man, mate. Compared to Street Fighter, that's a great film. You know what I'm saying? Nothing wrong with that, lad. Okay, it's a little bit cheesy, but it's a classic 80s kids movie. It's good. It's actually good. If you're a kid in the 1980s or 90s watching that, you can have a good time. Street Fighter, on the other hand, that's absolute shite, lad. That's absolute shite. Okay, we're still waiting on Amrabat, everybody. Still waiting on Amrabat. Look at this. Look at this. Amrabat, still waiting. What the fuck's going on there? Apparently United now trying to get him on loan. So my man Rushmano posting this on social media earlier on, suggesting that United are trying to get Amrabat on loan. I mean, what is the matter with this football club? Really? I don't understand. Why don't we want to spend the money that we've got back for Fred and now Henderson? We've got 15 million for Henderson. We've got somewhere in that region for Fred. Okay, well, that's basically all of the Sofyan Amrabat money right there. This guy's waiting on bended knee for Manchester United to turn up and go in for him. He's mugging himself off right now. He must be super pissed off that this is taking all summer long and may well happen before deadline day, if it happens at all. Stephanie Griffith, thank you for that. Yeah, exactly. 11 PM deadline day. Wouldn't be a surprise. A loan for me is better with an option to buy. Well, it's just a lack of ambition by United, isn't it? It's like we're not prepared to do these deals. Do we really think that Fiorentina are going to be happy with that? Just a loan deal? You know, they've waited all summer long to get some money to go and reinvest and get a new player in. Don't they want to reinvest money to buy somebody else? Don't they want to have a chance at doing that? A couple of million up front to a team like Fiorentina is not going to do all that much. United, again, so poor with their spending of money. Well, I guess a lack of funds mustard, but we've just sold about 10 players this summer window. Okay, most of them we sold for basically nothing, but we still did generate cash from players like Fred, like Henderson, like Alanga, and we just haven't reintroduced that into the side in investment. We just haven't done. It's just piss poor ambition by the club. Surely, after selling Henderson, we've got enough to go and get Amrabat in. Don't blame it on FFP. That's nonsense, guys. It's absolute nonsense. Yeah, exactly, Mark Wallace. We're throwing him in the cold. Go and get him. Warm him up. Ten Hag needs him. Ten Hag absolutely needs him. You know, he does. It's like we don't have the depth in there. Plus, why would we spend 35 million on Højbjerg but not be prepared to spend 30 million on Amrabat? I don't really get it. We should have gone in and got him a long time ago. But as it is, it does seem like maybe we're trying to get a couple of midfielders. Maybe it's who we can get on loan. Maybe it is down to the fact United just don't want to spend money up front and we want to loan players. And so these guys actually do fit in with that because maybe we can get Amrabat for on the cheap. You know, if we can get him on a loan with an option to buy, that means we've got to spend a lot less money up front. And sadly, I think it's down to the hierarchy of this football club making these decisions for us. Obviously, every United fan here would like him on a permanent deal for 30 million right now. But it's not. Yeah, it's just not acceptable, is it, Kate? Why do we, Manchester United, have issues with funds? Exactly. We should be outspending everybody in the window every single year because we're the biggest, best supported club in the land. That's the truth of it. That's not just it's not being arrogant or anything. That's just the facts. This club generates huge amount of cash. Unfortunately, the current regime of ownership does cause us big issues there. Right, guys, there's one or two things that have come in. Thank you, Rushmano, for sending us the updates here. I'm just going to get into these very quickly. One or two things that have come out live while we're doing this show. So James Ducker also reporting that Manchester United have not raised as much money through sales as they hoped this summer and are working within fairly tight limits as a result of UEFA's new financial sustainability rules. What a load of old bollocks! Yet Chelsea can just go and buy whoever the fuck they want and put them on 8-year contracts. It's an absolute shambles. What? It's so ridiculous. There's loads of clubs who are spending lots of money. Man United can actually generate huge cash, and we should be able to spend and outspend anybody, if you ask me. So I don't buy that, to be fair. Also, other report that's come out this evening that says that Amad Diallo wins the Championship Fans Player of the Year award. Check that out, guys. Big up Amad Diallo. Get in there, well deserved. Had a great loan spell at Sunderland, didn't he, last season? And apparently he has won the Championship Fans Player of the Year award. Let's get some love in there for Amad Diallo. That's fantastic. He's injured at the moment, but that's news that's come out this evening. Well done, Amad. Love to hear it. That's great. That's very nice. Love that. Good on the lad. That's brilliant. Pietro Lazze over in Italy reporting that Fiorentina may lower the price of Sofyan Amrabat. The climate's very tense and an outgoing solution is needed. Manchester United are not impatient and remain a potential destination. Atletico Madrid are back in the race. So Madrid have some interest in Amrabat. It's a disgrace. United not impatient. Well, yeah, we're not impatient because we're prepared to wait until literally the last hours of the window to save a couple of quid. That's what United do. That is Manchester United these days. That is what we do. Okay, also, what else has come out this evening? That's a new report. Thank you very much, Rushmano. Alex Turk reporting that it seems increasingly likely that United's midfield problems will remain unsolved beyond Friday's transfers deadline day. Left-back chase is almost certainly going to take days. Ten Hag's going to have to find an internal answer because it's not going to be a pretty season if not. I'm not so sure if I agree with that. I do think we'll end up getting some sort of midfielder. I think we'll sign a left-back on loan, i.e. Cucurella, and a central midfielder. Maybe it will be a loan again, but surely a permanent deal. I think we will get a central midfielder, but I don't think we'll get a number 9 and a centre-back, which is what we need as well. Another report here coming out from Turkey that says that Altay Bayindor has signed his Manchester United contract. He is now a United player. Looks like that's done, guys. Let me pop that up on the screen. So that's kind of big news, I suppose. I mean, obviously, it's a source from Turkey, but let's pop it up on the screen for you legends so you can see what is going on. That it does look like Altay Bayindor has now signed his United contract. This has come out at 10:30 p.m. tonight, so just over an hour ago, while we were nattering on here about Cucurella, etc. But if we have a little look and see what's going on here, we can see that the source says, this source from Turkey says that Justin Altay Bayindor has signed his Manchester United contract. He is now a United player. So, you know, we'll have to see if there's confirmation from people like Ornstein and Fab very shortly. But at this moment, it does look like he is going to be a United player very soon anyway. He obviously had a few days of medicals and things like that going on. We're expecting that confirmation to come through. Looks like maybe it is. So who cares? It's no big signing, is it? It's just a backup goalkeeper. Doesn't really help us that much. Although I tell you something, though, with this news about Andre Onana being reintroduced into the Cameroon squad and maybe leaving us for 5 weeks in January for the Africa Cup of Nations, it does mean that we've got a bit of concern now about the goalkeeper position at the club. And we do need a backup goalkeeper. We've got Heaton, of course. Is Heaton going to be enough for United for 5 weeks? And then we've got this Turkish guy as well who seems pretty good. But hey, look, Onana has been brought in for a reason to be our number 1. And this guy isn't realistically going to play even a backup role. I agree with you, Fraud Sports says that backup for Heaton. Yeah, Heaton's probably our actual backup now. Heaton looked pretty good in pre-season. I rate Heaton, but is he enough? We've spent 50 million on Onana, and he might not even be with us for 5 weeks. That is a debacle. That's United all over, really. Absolute debacle. And then also just more confirmation on Malacia and Luke Shaw's injuries, guys, that's come out this evening as well. That says that Tyrell Malacia's injury is as bad as Luke Shaw's, and he could miss the first half of the season. It looks like these guys are out for at least 6 weeks each, which is why we are going in for Cucurella and these sorts of left-back options, guys. That's it. So that's it, guys. We've got so many problems at left-back now. Malacia and Luke Shaw, long-term injuries for both of them. If anything happens to Dalot, we would be pretty screwed. So that's why we're going to get Cucurella. I think that's a good signing. And Varane's obviously got a 6-week injury as well. If we pop that up on the screen as well, that came out earlier on. Raphael Varane was confirmed as having a long-term injury also. So we do have significant defensive vulnerabilities going on with injuries. And we do not want to have to go to Slabo Maguire and play him. So we need extra depth, we need extra quality. Cucurella comes in at left-back. We've still got a few players ahead of Maguire in that centre-back position as well. Unfortunately, it probably will have to be the Butcher and the Iceman that play at centre-back for the foreseeable until these players are back fit. And then beyond that, well, Luke Shaw could go in and slot in and play us do us a job at centre-back, which means that Cucurella can play left-back, gives us a bit of extra depth. So I'm all for the Cucurella signing. I'm going to get into the live chat now in a minute, but before I do, I'm going to run down everything we've discussed in this video for anybody who's just getting in here. 405 legends in here tonight, so there's probably a bunch of you just getting in. So for you guys, I will just run down everything in a quick couple of minutes that we've discussed in this video so you know exactly all the latest updates and news. Do us a favour, hit that like, hit the subscribe. We are very close now, guys. As you can see, we're creeping up to getting to 74,000 subscribers. We're only 400 odd subscribers away, so do hit the subscribe if you're here for the first time and smash the like on it. You know it makes sense. Oh yes, and give us a retweet. We'll shout you all out in a minute. Okay, I'm going to just do a rundown of everything we've discussed. So the first bit of news we were talking about was, of course, the Cucurella business looking likely that it will be done. Some reports say that Chelsea are looking to get about £7 million fee up front for a season-long loan for Cucurella, but United understandably have sent a much lower offer than that initially. Fabrizio Romano says that we have now sent an offer to Chelsea, and the loan fee is understood to be in excess of £2 million. Chelsea want more. Talks are ongoing to make it happen. Cucurella's open to joining Manchester United since Saturday, so they'll probably reach an agreement somewhere in the middle. Perhaps there will be an option to buy on Cucurella's deal as well, which means that United can get a good player in here when we need him because of injury concerns with our players right now. So that's good. David Ornstein also confirming the same, that we have bid now for Marc Cucurella to Chelsea. He says that United have submitted a proposal to sign Marc Cucurella from Chelsea. Chelsea have responded, talks are ongoing, the offer is an initial loan and the clubs are discussing various parameters around that. So fees up front, obviously a discussion point, and then maybe an option to buy, another discussion point as well. But he's very much wanted by Ten Hag for the system right now due to the lack of personnel in that particular area. And the big news is really that United have agreed personal terms with Marc Cucurella now. So reported far and wide that United have agreed personal terms with the guy, which is obviously excellent. It looks like he wants to come and join Manchester United. The wages won't be an issue. The desire from the player to join and play for us won't be an issue. Fab says it's understood that Manchester United have reached an agreement in principle with Cucurella on personal terms. Green light has arrived on the players' side. Man United won't negotiate for any other left-back now, so we're focused on bringing Cucurella in, as they want to get the Cucurella deal done with Chelsea ASAP. So he is our focus for left-back. I think it's a good signing. It gives us depth and quality. Happy with that. That's big news, obviously, the fact that we are close to get an agreement in place. We just got to agree on the initial fee with Chelsea, which will probably be 4 or 5 million, who knows, and then maybe options to buy the guy later at the end of the season. And Ben Jacobs says that United are optimistic about securing the Marc Cucurella deal on loan. Cucurella's keen on the move. United first approached him at the weekend and decided yesterday he was the priority. So we had a short list of 5 other players: Reguilon, the vehicular homicider, Marcos Alonso, Tagliafico, Spinazzola, and Cucurella. These guys all interested, all of interest to Manchester United, but it looks like we decided on Marc Cucurella, which seems like probably the best option, all things considered. So that's the Cucurella update. Beyond that, we were talking about Scott McTominay. Apparently Bayern Munich still have that interest in Scott McTominay. United are holding out for a large amount of money. James Ducker from the Telegraph says that Scott McTominay on him, Thomas Tuchel's an admirer, and there's interest from Bayern Munich, but there seems a difference of opinion between the Bayern coach and what the club wants at the moment as well, so that's interesting. But it is known that they are interested in him. Tuchel's an admirer, which I find strange. But United apparently holding out for an asking price of somewhere around about £40 million, which is outrageous, of course, for a permanent transfer of Scott McTominay. Crazy money involved. Bild over in Germany are reporting that there's a feeling that this could be done, though. So they say that Bayern Munich are very interested in Scott McTominay. Man United would be willing to negotiate the £35 to £40 million asking price. There's an exciting indication that it will happen, says Bild. Take that with a pinch of salt, but that's what they say. Let's just hope that we can somehow get rid of McTominay, because if we can get rid of McTominay, we can go and buy somebody permanent in that midfield, whether it be Højbjerg, whether it be Amrabat. I'd rather Amrabat, but obviously that's the options that you get from selling a player for £35 million. That's what we should be doing anyway, but it does look like that's what's going to be the case. So we've also, got to talk about Amrabat very briefly. Same situation, really, guys. Nothing much has changed. He's still waiting for us right now. Amrabat is still waiting for Manchester United. He's not training with Fiorentina even today, as he wants to wait for United. So still not playing for them, still waiting for us, still hoping United come in for him. There's a chance we might go in before deadline day to sign him. But don't hold your breath, because this has been going on for a long time. And there's now a new understanding that maybe we're looking for this guy to come in on loan, because we're skint. Because we're absolutely skint. So Amrabat on loan is a possibility as well. Yeah. Although very much doubt it. I doubt Fiorentina would be interested in doing that. We got news Varane is injured for a long time as well. Up to 6 weeks, guys. Bad news going on there. It's a bad news day for United. And then beyond that, the other news that we had was United have been offered the chance to sign Højbjerg for about £35 million. That is an option, I suppose. It's not a great option, but it's an option. He does maybe fill a hole in that defensive midfield, of course, which would help us, but it's not a fantastic player or anything. And then also, Andre Onana, news came out today about him, that he is now back in the setup for Cameroon, and we may well be losing him for 5 weeks for the Africa Cup of Nations. What an absolute debacle. That's basically the latest news, guys. Now it's time for me to get into the live chat, but before I do, I'm going to go and shout out everyone out on Twitter there, guys. Go and give us a repost. I will shout you all out in a second. Jarvis says, how optimistic are you in the final days of the window? Not very, lad. I think we'll sign 2 players. Beyond Bayern. I think we'll bring in Cucurella on a loan deal. I think we'll bring in a central midfielder. I'm hoping Amrabat, but if not him, then I guess it could be Højbjerg. But I still think we'll sign a midfielder because we desperately need one. And that left back. And that's it. I don't think we'll get a number 9. I don't think we'll get a centre back. So I'm going for those 2 players. And that doesn't make a very good, nice window, if you ask me. It's pretty average. Thank you, Mr. Jarvis, lad. Chris Koo with a super chat. Thank you, boss. He says, if Amrabat doesn't happen, I feel for him. Shambles. Definitely, mate. He seems like he wanted United, waiting for us, wants that Ten Hag reunion, and wants to play for United in the Champions League and the Premier League, and he's been waiting all summer for us, amid interest from other teams, only for us to not go in for him potentially. We'll still see. I think maybe United just doing the classic United thing, like we did with Telles when we signed him, taking all the time in the world to try and save a couple of £1 million. That's what we're like. So I still think it might happen. Right, let's go over to Twitter and shout everyone out who's given us a repost. 26 retweeters. Absolute legends. Thank you so much to Guy Am Legend. Big love, Guy Am Legend. Also, we got 24 reposters here. Jaden MUFC. Sanjay Ramatar. Stephen Braun. Boomy. All Out United. Vincent Bullock. The GOAT Richard Wisterpeg. Feline Fur. Duncan Belifo. Get in there, my son. Dave Jason, a.k.a. Disco Dave. Ryan Berberspin 9, a.k.a. The Gaming Simp. Thugger 007. MEFC Brummy Reds. Transfers _UTD. Aaron Homeyard. Mike C. Uncade Squid. Francois Cock. The Butcher of Manchester. Sin Games. United Mark. Ryan Downton. And Jarvis Cocker. What a bunch of legends. Thank you, everybody. That does help the show out. I do appreciate you all for taking the time to give us a retweet there and sharing us out on your socials there. That's very kind. What a bunch of legends. Big up the Hamada and the Mighty Bacon Brigade. What a ham base we've got going on here. Anyway, right, okay, I'm going to get into the chat now, guys. Q&A time for 5 to 10 minutes or so. Just get your thoughts in. Get your thoughts in about anything we've discussed. Oh, also, guys, by the way, I've shat the bed on the giveaway tonight. You have to forgive me. I'm such a fucking letdown, aren't I? But I've got everybody's names down. Don't worry. The giveaway's coming. The giveaway is coming. It will be tomorrow. Listen, my brother's here from America at the moment. Today we went and picked up my mum's ashes, and there's a whole bunch of stuff going on today. We had to arrange and sort out inscriptions for, for stones and all sorts of stuff. Not nice stuff to get into. I haven't had the time, okay? But tomorrow we will definitely draw the winner of the competition for the 2 T-shirts. That's the plan. Definitely will happen. Must Play says, I'm a letdown, you're a legend. You're not a letdown, Must Play, at all, lad. You are not a letdown at all, man. You're always coming in here with great comments and insight. You're definitely not a letdown, Must Play. What are you talking about, lad? You're a legend, Mr. Must Play, lad. Don't let anybody else tell you different, son. You're a legend, lad. Thank you, Stephanie, but we will do that tomorrow. I just have had a busy day today and haven't been able to do it. What if you don't have a left back, says Kate Cadet. What if you don't have a left back, says Kate Cadet. What, just play with like 3 at the back, you mean? And then play like a 3-5-2 with a winger? I mean, yeah, but I don't like the idea of that, to be honest, Dad. I don't like the idea of that. So what you say, like Rashford playing left wing back or left midfield, and he's got to come back and actually defend? That's not going to happen, mate. He would be shite doing that, wouldn't he? He's not the best at that, lad. That's a terrible idea, Kate Cadet. Thank you, Berber. I appreciate that. Thank you, Johnny. Yeah, it's been a fun stream tonight, hasn't it? Definitely has. Thank you, OP Dragon. Appreciate that. Yeah, bargain bin loan, says the big guy. Family's the most important thing. Absolutely, yeah. Much love, Tom and Pig and your sis. Thank you, Bell691. Thank you very much. I don't know if Tom, are you listening to this stream right now, mate? My brother upstairs, if he's still awake, he might be listening to this stream. You can come down now, mate, if you want. He's a bit annoyed with me about not letting him on the stream. I had a lot to discuss tonight, and I wanted to get him on for a proper chat about football and stuff in an afternoon, early evening capacity. But I said to him, you pissed out your head, lad. You know, chill out. But if you want to come down now and discuss the last 5 minutes with us, please do. Please do, if you can hear us. Thank you, Howard Garrix. Big love to Bell for being a member for 33 months, by the way. I do appreciate that. Thank you so much. Breaking news. We signed Fukin No One. Nice one. Thank you, Sean Hockridge, mate. That's very kind of you, dude. Thank you so much, Sean. Chris Koo says, much love, Pig. Rip, Mrs. Pig. Thank you, Chris Koo. Thank you very much. I do appreciate it. You're talking about Berber, about emergency loan signings. Right, I see. Sergio Ramos makes sense as a backup. Probably wants a fortune of money, though. That's the problem. He's a Billy Big Bollocks, doesn't he? Probably wants a shitload of cash. Thank you, Travis, for the love hearts there, my man. What do you call an umbrella with poop on it? Pooperella, says King Boomy. Right, okay. Do you know what's funny, King Boomy, is I actually saw you write that in the live chat about an hour ago, mate, and I just skipped past it, right? And not only did you feel the need to actually come up with that joke in the first place, but you felt the need to put that in there multiple times, lad. Hang your head in shame, bro. Hang your head in shame, you know what I'm saying? Goodness me. Amrabat hasn't happened because it's not happening. Maybe Gattuso. Get Sergio Ramos in, says Matthew Smith. He's not the answer. Better than Everton Maguire? Yeah, that's true. You know, but he's not the answer, is he? Bristol City have a better training centre than us, says King Booby. What a joke. Flip says lol. Get in there. Salford 9, 8 leads. Superfly guy, get in there, my son. Thank you, Hawg. I appreciate that, dude. King Boomy says, I am ashamed I'm in the wardrobe, says King Boomy. Is my brother Happy Maguire staying? I remember he thought he played well in the summer tour. I don't really know. You know, I am definitely going to get him on here on the channel for the last sort of couple of, you know, for a couple of shows before he goes. And we'll see exactly what he's got to say for himself. Absolutely. I don't know. Let me text him, actually, and see if he wants to come down and have a chat real quick. Let me text him. But he has had about 15 beers today, so that's why I was saying he should come on a different day. You want to come for a chat on stream? Let's message him. See what he's got to say for himself. Wonder if he's around. He might have fallen asleep. He said Maguire was one of the best in the world. I don't know if he said that, Ryan, lad. I don't know if he quite said that. 284 likes, says Stephanie Griffith. That's obscene. Yeah, he does love a beer, doesn't he, TJ? Yeah, indeed he does. Indeed he does. We'll give him a grilling, says Duncan Belifo. Well, what I wanted to do is get on and do a proper, like, hour-long show with him, but not when he's pissed out of his head. You know what I'm saying? Because, you know, I don't drink these days, guys. I haven't drunk since December, actually. And you know what I mean. When somebody's pissed up and you're not, it's fucking annoying. You know what I mean? Drunk people are so fucking obnoxious when you're not drunk. When you're drunk, it's great. But if you're not drunk and they're drunk, it's fucking obnoxious, guys. It does my head in. Thompson Maguire Simp is one and only fan. Yeah, I think that's true. Vincent says, well, you've got to love a beer when you come here because to be with America's shit. Fair enough, Vincent. Yeah, well, IPAs are nice. I do like an IPA. The Americans do a good IPA. But their lager is absolutely abominable, lad. Good shout. Cody Elder says 337 watching. That is pretty raw, guys. Keep smashing the likes. Keep smashing the subscribes. We're 2 away from 570 subscribers now, which is awesome. Not yet, Celestine Ton. He has agreed a deal with United, though, in terms of personal terms, though, bro. Apologise for your awful take on Street Fighter. I'm sorry if I offended you, Kingslayer. I'm sorry, but you know I'm right, mate. You know, it's an average movie. It's not even an average movie. It's a shitter of a movie, lad. Come on. Ken and Ryu are some of the most iconic characters in video game history. Ken and Ryu, yeah? Hadouken, a footsie firkin. Come on, they're some of the most iconic characters. Guess what? Guess what? They've made Ken a weedy little ginger man, and they made Ryu look like he's never had a meal in 15 years, bro. Ryu in the film's a meaty motherfucker with massive fucking arms, bro. He's sorry, I mean in the game. He's huge. Ryu's a fucking tank. Guess what? They got some skinny little guy, mate, to play him in the movie. It's bad casting. I can't get over that. You know, I can't get over bad casting, guys. That's the problem. It's a crap film, isn't it? A footsie firkin. Yeah, that's it, man. That's it. A footsie firkin. That's from Street Fighter, mate. Everybody knows it, mate. Come on. Hadouken. Yeah, I love Mortal Kombat done and dusted. Love them both. They're great. Hey, no worries, Secret Underdog the game. You can't be in them all, lad. Who would you cast as DazNaz786? Who would I cast as Ken and Ryu? Oh, goodness me. You've put me on the spot there, haven't you, mate? Okay. I'm going to go Channing Tatum as Ken. Right. Good casting, that, guys. Better than that shite in the movie, anyway. I'll go Channing Tatum as Ken. And Ryu, we're going to go for Ryu. We're going to go... this is a little bit more tricky, isn't it? Because he's from Japan. I'm trying to think of, like, some really big, meaty Japanese actors, and it's not really coming to me, to be honest. So, Ryu's from Japan. I can't think. It's got to be some Japanese meat bag. It's got to be. Somebody with some real... I can't think of a Japanese actor who's really big and muscly. But there's got to be one. Let's go with Channing Tatum as Ken, mate. Oh, exactly, Madhouse. Wind you up. They're all awesome. The muscle. I can't really say. If I had to choose one, I don't know. You know, I think Street Fighter holds the personal GOAT title for me because I played that long as a kid. But so did Mortal Kombat as well. Tekken's also amazing. Come on, Ivan Drago. The man who acts in Iron Fist as TJ. Interesting. Smithy says spot on. Thundercats was quality. Thundercats are on the loose. Yeah, that's classic, actually, mate. Why haven't they made a Thundercats movie? That'd be so good. That would be actually legit. Alright, he's not messaged back, guys, so I think he must have fallen asleep. He's not messaged back. Okay, I'm going to read a couple more comments out then, guys, and we'll get stuck into the... into a couple of comments real quick, and then we'll have to wrap this up because it is pretty late, actually. It's just gone midnight, in fact, guys. Crikey. We've been on here for an hour and 37 minutes. No way. I thought there was just like an hour or so. Bloody hell, guys. Time flies when you're having fun with the Bacon Brigade, eh? Did you know Rasmus has brothers who are doing well too in football? Oscar and Emil, both 19. Interesting. I did not know that, King Boomy. Sign him up, lad. Bring back Phil Jones. Time for his resurrection. Definitely going to watch Pink Panther after this as TJ. Viva Ken Barlow. Sun Hung Low is meaty. Sun Hung Low. You're taking a piss. By the way, Hawg, you're not convincing anybody with your name there, bro. Everyone knows that your name's a bullshit name. I'm not going to read that out, mate. I'm just going to call you Hawg. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to read the whole name out, mate. You've got to get up earlier than that to trick the pig. How will we do on Sunday, says Cybone. We're going to batter them, mate. Don't worry. We're going to batter them. Ah, thank you, Clive Neal. What a lovely comment, mate. That's very nice. Mortal Kombat's the daddy. It might be, mate. It's got the best soundtrack, hasn't it? Dun 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 dun. Epic. Kagawa, says Matthew Smith. Cammy. Give us a cheeky sue.
Get in there, my son.
Thank you for subscribing, Anthony Hunter. Anthony Hunter. This is the type of guy who goes out trying to hunt people called Anthony. That's who this guy is. Margot Robbie is Cammy. Yes, now you're talking, Batman Night fan. That's a great bit of casting right there, lad. That's great casting. Kylie Minogue is... Kylie, yeah, exactly. An Aussie. They've got to be Australian, don't they? That's a good shout. Kylie Minogue wasn't a terrible choice, but she can't act. But she just had a small role in that first one. That's a terrible movie. I don't care what anybody says. That Street Fighter movie was awful. Absolutely awful. Captain Scarlet, he's our hero, mate. Anyway, All right, guys, get a few last comments in. I am going to have to wrap it up very soon, though. We've been on here for a long time, but I will read one or two more out. There's a lot of legends having their say in here, and I just love the community vibe. So get your opinions in for the final countdown of this video here, and we'll read a couple more out. But, yeah, we are going to have to finish this reasonably soon. I'm too quick for trick names, absolutely, lad. Yeah. She can't sing either, says Chocolate Salty Balls. She's not the best, is she? But she is a looker, though. Definitely. This backup keeper's a giant pig. He's over 6 foot. Since when was 6 foot a giant, mate? You mean 6'6", right? 6 foot. He's over 6 foot. I'm 6'2", mate. Am I a giant? No, I'm not, mate. What are you talking about, lad? You don't like Kylie Minogue, says Duke of Rodtown? Why not? Kylie Minogue's nice, mate. She's a lovely lady. With a wonderful posterior, lad. Don't be harsh to Kylie. Favourite United chant, says Ryan. Favourite United chant? I like Ooh Ah Cantona. It's a classic. What a fucking don. What a don of a chant. We have Andre the Giant. Awful singer, said Duke of Rodtown. Fair enough. Yeah, Berber. Great arse on her, let's be honest. Chocolate Salty Balls, get in there, my son. Yeah, height is top 5%. Interesting. Decade on YouTube. Exactly. I know all the prank names, but you got to get up earlier than that. Indeed. Well, that's a good one, Ryan, but you asked us not to sing that. United Road's a good one as well. Classic. Yeah. All right then, folks. That's it from me. I've got to wrap it up. It's late. But thank you ever so much, every single one of you legends, for getting in here tonight and enriching this live chat, this community. It's been a heck of a chat tonight. Thanks so much for joining us. Really do appreciate it. Please do give us the honour of smacking that thumbs up button on it before you go. Drop a little like on this video if you haven't done so. That's all we ask, is a cheeky little like. Make sure you are subscribed. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Travis. Thank you, OP Dragon, Beata, Kingslayer, Ryan, TJ, Secret Underdog the Gamer. All the moderators like Don Berber and Gungshi and Vutinator and Mr. Cake and everyone else who's got in here. Shout out to Rushmano for the updates throughout the show as well. Big love. Transfers_UTD on Twitter, my friends. And everybody else, all the members of the channel and all the commenters, you know, thank you so much for getting in here. Really do appreciate that. You have a good one. Why am I not surprised, Cake Cadet? Why am I not surprised? Hey, everyone, you have a good one, guys. Actually, I like the Solskjaer chant. You are my Solskjaer, my Ollie Solskjaer. You make me happy when skies are grey. Though Alan Shearer, he may be dearer. Please don't take my Solskjaer away. Fucking bangers. Oh, those were the days, man. I miss those days. In every way, I miss those days. Those days were brilliant. That's it from me. We are going to wrap this one up. Thank you so much for tuning in all. I love you all. Thank you for being here. Thank you for having your say. Come back afterwards, get your thoughts and opinions in, and we'll go in there raw tomorrow with the latest news. We'll be back on the afternoon and the evening with a minimum of 2 shows tomorrow. I've got to go and absolutely destroy my brother at golf tomorrow, because last time he did actually beat me, and that was a disgrace and a nonsense, and Roy Keane would be throwing punches at him for losing to him at golf. So I've got to batter him tomorrow, and then I'll be back in the afternoon to do a video, and then we'll be doing an evening stream. Hopefully there's no big breaking news that I miss in the morning. Don't know, actually, Ryan. Somewhere around about then, maybe 2, maybe 5, depends when I'm done at golf, lad. Keep a lookout, though. Make sure you click the bell icon for notifications. That way you won't miss it. Look out on the social medias as well at Flying Pig United. All the links are in the description of this video. Flying Pig United on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, Twitch, and Kick. Yeah, definitely the mustard, mate. I've been loving that dartboard. Big up Tommy Boyle for sending me that dartboard. It's such a nice dartboard. We've been playing a bit of darts. He beat me at that earlier as well. I'm pissed off, mate. But, you know, I'm loving the darts. Big up Tommy Boyle for sending me a dartboard. What an absolute legend. Anyway, guys, I'm going to leave it there. Have a good night, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. Loads of legends in here tonight. Come back afterwards and have your say in the not live comment section. We will draw the winners of the giveaway tomorrow night as well. Don't worry, that's still coming. There's 2 up for grabs. All the people that commented within a 20-minute window on the Glazers outfit, and then also that other one, the reaction video. I've got you all screenshotted, so you will all be included in that giveaway. Thank you all for tuning in. Thank you very much, Cake and Chris and everybody else as well. That's it from me, guys. Stay classy. Have a good one. Piggy loves you. And remember, when the seagulls follow the trawler, this is because they think sardines will be thrown into the sea. Thank you very much.